Hello, 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 everyone. It is Elsa 932 on YouTube. We are here. Trey and I are here again for our nerd session of the week. We are here for part two of Dune. Okay, Dune. Part one, we got into the basics. Now, part two, we're going to talk about the future and what was planned. And as usual, Trey is here dressed up. We had agreed not to dress up, but he's come out dressed up. Trey, how are you today? Since I don't follow the Fremen way, what did you just say?
Oh no, I was just screaming the theme song every time Paul come up and be like, all that. It's kind of tight though. Like, yeah. But I am a man of the desert. We follow the desert ways, must cover ourselves in front of Shahalud.
Okay, it seems like you're indoors though, but that's okay.
I am within the CH, but I am the elder.
Usually, okay, they uncover at least their heads indoors. So if you feel a little overheated, feel free. Okay, so last week we covered, the history of the houses, the universe, how the House Atreides was being set up by the Emperor and the Harkonnen house. So we covered that. So this time we're going to cover part two is the rise of the prophet. And the prophet in this case is Paul becoming Muad'Dib. Now, he fully integrates into the Fremen culture. He learned their ways of the desert power. I love every time they say desert power. And he adopts the name Paul Muad'Dib. And he learns to ride the sandworms. I always thought that was the best part of the story, when he actually blends into the culture. And I guess because I cover all these other shows, learning different cultures, I'm loving, when we learn of a fictitious culture, but a wonderful culture nonetheless. What do you think about desert power?
We may follow Muad'Dib, but I follow my brother Uso. I follow Uso. He is my brother with his secret name. Uso, we call him. Uso. Yes. But that was one of the greatest parts of the movie, when he actually has to learn to be a Fremen. He must learn our ways, adopt our culture, learn to walk in the path of Shahalud.
But he follows our ways as though he is born to it. Yeah.
He got a little bit of cheat code. He got a little bit of a cheat code, definitely.
Well, I'm thinking that he learned, and I'm thinking, the name just left me. The android assassin also could have taught him, because he has to learn about, all the peoples that, he gonna take over. So I was like,
well, he's definitely, yes, he definitely has learned many of the culture and whatnot, but we also have to remember that, which we didn't mention in the first part, we have to get into this. Paul's mind has been awakened. The sleeper
we did mention it. Yes, we
never went into it.
No, we saved it for this.
Yeah. His mind has been awoken.
When we talk about the water of life, we'll talk about it.
He is now starting to have visions. Visions, as they say. But the visions from our standpoint of watching, what they truly are, Paul is seeing multiple futures, multiple possibilities.
We'll get there.
Multiple possibilities. But this links back to when I'm saying, well, they don't go too deep in the movie, they should have, but this links to him being a mentat, because a mentat has to think in possibilities mathematically. And once you can understand mathematical possibilities, that's when these dream states start to make a lot more sense. Because the Bene Gesserit train inside of him gives him the ability to look through past lives.
Right.
Past lives.
Now the thing is that all of this is part of the religious prophecy. Okay. Now, while they are with the Fremen, while Paul is doing his own training, his mother, Lady Jessica, is undergoing her own transformation. The Reverend Mother for the Fremen is old. She is passing her time, and they see her coming as a sign she can be their Reverend Mother.
She's a wild Reverend Mother.
Wild.
That wasn't talked about enough. You know, she's what they call a wild Reverend Mother to the Bene Gesserit.
Yes.
In layman's terms, she doesn't stay. Either she doesn't stay or she doesn't give updates to the sisterhood about everything that's going on. She is fully trained in the Bene Gesserit way, but she is in so many words, you can just say she's fully native.
Yes.
She's fully native.
Yes.
So but she may understand. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Just she may understand the great plan, but her machinations, if any, is going to be strictly from the position of the tribes. You know, in this sense, strictly the position of the tribes.
And for her son, because again, y'all, this is where she becomes the missionaria proctiva. She is the religious leader or religious mother of the tribes. She becomes their Reverend Mother. She sees and kind of knows almost all, but she can look down and have the memories of all the previous Reverend Mothers. Remember, we are looking down the genetic line and thought process of the women. Okay. And I'm going to put a pin in that because I will explain why that is important. Now, she, pushes the Fremen to continue to believe that Paul, her son, is their long lost savior. Okay. That is a story time, and she's like, you know what, my son is fulfilling prophecy, and she keeps that whispering going and going. Now, to be able to allow this, Paul has to drink the water of life. This is going to unlock his mind to see past, present, future. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, it's basically like a three-eyed raven thing, okay? But somewhat. A little more hyped up.
Yeah. Somewhat,
okay.
Yes.
If he survives this, he will become the Kwisatz Haderach. Now, I wanted people to understand what this water of life means. Okay. Basically, he drinks the water, the sacred water. Okay. When he drinks the sacred water, it opens up his vision. He gets a telepathic experience, not only with his mother, Jessica, but also with the Reverend Mother that's passing away, the old Reverend Mother, and also with his sister, because his mother is with child. And it was not, you're not supposed to take the water of life as a woman with child, because guess what? His sister will be born with all the powers of a Reverend Mother. That, y'all, put a pin in that. That's going to be huge. The first movie, the old one in the 80s, showed us how huge. This movie, not so much, because she ain't even born yet. But
they shied away from that.
Yeah, they did.
I wish they didn't. I wish didn't.
Too.
I wanted a weird little girl. I really wanted a weird little girl running around talking. This would have been a perfect place to do ADR. Straight up have some little girl talking gibberish and some type of grown woman coming from her voice saying all sensible stuff. You're like, what is going on here? It would have been eerie. It would have been disturbing. It would have been perfect.
Now, Paul's transformation in the book, y'all, when Paul drinks it, in the book, it takes him 3 weeks to wake up. 3 weeks in the book. This time they fly, his love interest. They have desert tears mixed in with the water to wake him up a few hours later. In the original movie, he just drank it out in the desert and the sandworms came up to bow to him. That was the 80s movie.
I'll be honest with you, that was a total farce. That was ridiculous. That was completely ridiculous. Okay?
It was ridiculous, but it showed the power. It showed some power now.
It was an interesting visual. So sandworms doing all this
ridiculous.
That would have been interesting. But let me go into how it actually happens in the books. Okay. Paul is realizing that and it's hit this in the newer movie. Paul is realizing that his visions or his prediction of the future is becoming unreliable. It's difficult for him to sift out certain events that he knows could come versus what is a possibility could happen. He says, even in the movie, he says, I need to see better. I need to see more. I need to see better. This is what truly causes him to go through the process and drink the water of life and become fully the Chris-ass Hatterack. Before then, he was hesitant against this because he knew what it could mean. He was hesitant. Now, also in the book, Chani, hold on. Put a pen. We got to talk about Chani for a second. Okay? Because as much as I love Chani in the movie, this Chani is very incomplete to me. Okay,
she's argumentative.
Well, Chani in the book was argumentative too. Okay,
yeah,
she
but
was. But this was the difference between book Chani and the movie Chani. Book Chani was fully on page, knows what's happening, is behind Paul 100%. Movie Chani, they made her push back harder than she should have against Paul, doing what he needs to do to free her people. That's the thing that was confusing me. He is literally doing this to free the freeman people. Why are you making her resistant towards that when that's been her whole moniker?
To free her people.
From the very beginning. Yeah, to free her own people. It's a little weird. But
it is very weird.
Talk about Chani is also in the books. Chani is also a half-trained Bene Gesserit herself.
Right, they stayed away from that, but they tried to kind of say it when she was very comfortable where the baby sandworms were.
Yeah, her desert name and all that. And
yeah.
The thing is, Chani, okay, let's just get something out of the way. We didn't talk about this character too much, but I think I have to bring her in. Dr. Kynes, the planet ecologist. Okay.
Yeah.
She was an important character somewhere in the beginning. She was important in the book. Crazy, because before Paul came along, the Fremen followed Dr. Kynes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Dr. Kynes was a man in the book. They changed it to a woman for the movie. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
All they did was flip a couple of things around. Chani is Dr. Kynes' child. So in the movies, it would be Dr. Kynes' daughter. Because they even say, her father was a Fremen warrior. Okay?
Right.
But she is Dr. Kynes' daughter. Okay. Also, this was a huge change. I saw it in the movie. She was a part of the reception, of the process for Jessica to become a reverend mother. Because, like I said, she was trained in Bene Gesserit ways herself. Not fully, but she had enough training to be a full-off Sayadina. So she knows the religious rites and everything. It's just for the movie, they decided to make her totally against their own religion, which I thought was a strange choice to do. And it kind of puts you in a writing corner for things to come up. So I'm interested to see how they're going to fix this or how they're going to do the solution. And I don't know, but yeah, Shahaloot. But Johnny, his characters has changed, so now you change the reasoning for a lot of things. Paul is drinking the water of life, and this is why I'll take the pen out earlier. When Paul realizes he has to get control of his visions, he purposely goes himself and secludes himself in part of the CH and finds a baby sandworm, and he already knows the ritual of drowning it. He learned that years before. Oh, there's a time difference in the books and in the original movie. It is from the moment the House of Atreides falls and it gets attacked to the moment they rise up again with the Fremen is 3 years. An entire 3 years has passed. In the movie, it's like 1 year. It's barely a year. You on mute.
Movie is 6 to 9 months.
Yeah, too fast. Kind of doesn't make sense if you think about it.
Yeah. Yes, 2 years. 2 years. He spends 2 years with them in the desert, 2 full year cycles, I should say. So that's how you could kind of understand. If they kept that, we would understand why the Harkonnen was able to take over the planet again, because it's 2 whole years.
Yeah, and everything takes time. You just can't roll in and do everything within months. And they're fighting this, and the Fremen are fighting back the entire time.
And he's strategic in helping them, do certain moves against the Harkonnen.
Yeah, they know how to fight them.
Do know how to fight. I was trying to let's get back to explaining the water of life. Now, as I explained to y'all, the water of life is to give you the ancestral memories. Now, here's the thing. A Reverend Mother can look at the genetic past of every Reverend Mother, every woman in her line. Okay? Mm-hmm. She can get that information. But what they cannot see is on the male side. So this is where the Bene Gesserit became breeders. This is when they wanted to breed a male who can see both sides. This
I've always found this interesting whenever even in the books, whenever that phrase is talked about, the way it's always worded, that the Bene Gesserit only can look down their feminine line. The way they always set it up, or the way it's read, is always it's not that they can't look down the male side, it's that they're afraid to. It's like when it's described, it's almost like when they go, some have tried to look.
But they say it's a place they could not look.
That's the point. That's the point I'm getting at. It's weird when they describe it. Even the first Reverend Mother,
right?
Even when she describes it, she said she wondered why she only could see her maternal side, her mother's side, everything.
She said it was a void.
Yeah, so whenever she said she forcibly tried to look down her male side, but it seemed like there was always a proverbial door set up in front of her, like a void. It's a door that she could not get past. She could look in there, like look around in the dark room, but for some reason something made her afraid to enter it. It's the way it's described in the mind. It's interesting.
Okay, the way I took it, that like they said it was a void, and when the Reverend Mother who did want to look, she looked and it terrified her that there was nothing. It was nothingness. She couldn't see anything. So this is what, when y'all hear the Kwisatz Haderach, okay, that means the biological bridge. This is the 90 generation breeding program. The Bene Gesserit wants to create this person. But what Paul does see when he is he takes the water of life, okay? He describes his vision as being high on in Dune, high up on the mountains, looking out on the landscape, and he can see every possible future. And this is why when he's sitting there in the movie and you say he's like, I can see all the possibilities, but there's just one narrow way.
Yes.
Because there are things that he knows cannot change. There are points in history that just are going to happen regardless. Okay.
Yeah,
so he's looking for that narrow path. So his father passing is going to happen. This is a catalyst to his rise. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there are other points in history that he cannot avoid. But he's trying to avoid the mass casualty of the universe. He don't want the Emperor taking over. He don't want the Harkonnens taking over completely, because that means millions of people will perish. Him taking over is going to cause a lot of people, but not everybody.
Specifically, he's trying not to cause the holy war that he know will cause tens of millions of lives. But it gets to a point, I think, when he's looking down these paths, it's going to happen whether he likes it or not. The question is, how does he navigate that ship? If it's going to happen, how do you navigate it the best way possible?
Right. To mitigate risk. Do you, we have a question. Do you think they'll go off track from the novel and change the ending? Maybe Paul gets betrayed, ended, or both, and a female takes command?
Well, that's not a departure from the ending.
Right. That's what that.
that's
the question is happened. which female will take command?
Well, here's when
part 3 ain't come out yet.
I know. Here's where the issue arises. And we've had this discussion with other shows as well. You have to be extremely careful about how far you depart from things, because your core audience is always going to be the people who read the books. Okay. I'm sorry. Everybody else is kind of finicky. Once you lose your core audience, the rest of them fall into the wayside. So you have to be very careful about about these departures. We already talked about one, like this Shiny character. It's kind of a, on some instances, I like her because she is a lot more warrior-like, even though Chani was a warrior in the books.
Yes.
But there's a point where she kind of takes a step back from it to a certain extent, as her duties as a Sayadina. In the show, in the movie, they decided to keep her just straight warrior. But I also think that limits her. I think that limits her, because she could be so much. She was so much more. Like, she is de facto empress. Yes. What I mean is, to the rest of the universe, it looks like Irulan is the empress, but we know she ain't gonna have no power. She really doesn't.
Right. She'll just be a figurehead.
Chani, even afterwards, Chani is basically one of us helping ruling. When Paul's not available, who sits? Chani does, along with his sister and others. But she's kind of de facto empress.
Right.
It's kind of interesting.
Brother C is saying, I mean, that Paul is not ended and he plays ended, for lack of a better word, then comes back and if you
kind of happens too.
Yes.
That kind of happens too. So that happens.
It kind of happens.
On. Yeah, that happens
later.
Too,
because if you there's actually a second and third movie, I think, from back in the 80s that addresses this. Paul's children, his sister.
It's off of the Children of Dune books.
Right.
All of that happens in the Children of Dune books.
Right.
We're talking about the next movie is Dune Prophecy, which is the Dune Messiah. Is based off of that book. I don't think they can use Messiah as a word for some reason.
Exactly.
So they got to change it to prophecy and all that, whatever.
But it happens. Paul realizes the path for the people and the path for him don't always go the same way. Okay.
Let's talk about the golden path. Let's go ahead and say it. The golden path.
Let's put it this way. Remember, if you're someone who follows biblical terms, remember Moses took him, but so far. He couldn't enter the promised land.
He couldn't enter the promised land.
It's
It's much like that character, somewhat.
Yeah,
you know,
kind of like that.
he
But keep on asking your questions though, y'all, because we will answer them, but we will try not to spoil part 3 for you.
You know what? I give you this hint, brother C. How about instead of Paul going Darth Vader, what if Luke? I'll give you this. Let me see if you can follow this hint. What if episode 6? What if Luke Skywalker actually turns to the dark side?
Oh.
Because quiet as kept. I think a lot of people know this. George Lucas modeled a lot of the Star Wars universe off of Frank Herbert's book.
Yes.
This is what caused him to make Star Wars. You would see a lot of similarities.
Star Wars inferences.
If I'm a Star Wars nut, so I know him, and there's a lot of information. Trust me, it's a different universe. It goes its own way, but
yes,
a lot of it, just like George R. Martin was a friend of Tolkien, George Lucas was a friend of Frank Herbert in the same sense for science fiction. So he read Dune. He was like, it just hit him one day.
Created his own world.
Yes.
Now for after drinking the water of life and seeing all these visions, he not only has dominion over seeing a whole bunch of potential futures and different possibilities, he also is able to kind of call the worms. Okay. He also has I'm going to call it like that. That's the simplest way to say it. Simplest way to say it.
They don't do that in the movie that much. I wish they would have. That would have been
right. And that's why I think the first movie, even though it looked crazy with the worm bowing to him, it gave that thought.
That's why I said I get it. That's why I said it was crazy. It was ridiculous. Doesn't happen in the book like that, but I get it.
Right.
I do get it. It was just okay. You
now
know what?
He's awakened.
They almost did it. They almost did it. They should have. The scene where Paul says, you'll probably get this, but we're Harkonnens, and then let's be Harkonnens, and he switched, and you see him walk up in one of the greatest top 5, one of the greatest moments of cinema history. That theme music is going down. It's going to be up there with the Imperial March. It's going up there with the Imperial March. It's going up there with the Last Ride of the Rohirrim. It's going up there with Beverly Hills Cop 2. Okay? It's going up there with the Bad Boys theme. It's going. That theme, and the worm come out the ground in the background. I was like, that's tough. Listen, hey, hold on. Let me get it right. I was like, that's tough. That is tough. Okay? It burns I can't not forget that scene. But what I thought would have been better, and this would have tied into something that I thought they was going to do earlier. You notice a lot of people had this question. Okay, they showed you amazingly how to ride a worm. It was an amazing scene. Amazing scene.
A grandfather worm, one of the oldest worms.
Big one, big boy. How do you get off? They never do that.
They never tell you how to get off the worm.
I know the process. I do know the process. But that
you gotta climb off too.
That scene would have been a perfect demonstration. Imagine this. Let me set the scene. The music is playing. And then the music starts. You actually see Paul riding in on the sandworm, going to that mountain on the back. He slows the worm down with a voice command. Use the voice on it. That would have been crazy.
Slower.
Slow. Just say slow.
And then,
hold on.
And then with cinematography, it slows down how we even see it.
And it'll turn to the side, and how a worm stops. You not only do you have the hooks, you have what they call the splitter. And basically, when the worm gets tired, you're supposed to ride the worm to exhaustion. But in my scene, he'll ride the worm up. He'll adjust his hooks that'll cause its nostril folds to flap down, which will cause the worm to turn. He'll turn the worm down, it'll go slower, and he'll ascend.
We don't need all that
to the sands. No, this is my scene. I'm doing this. It's my scene.
We don't need all that. I talk to the worms. I don't need all that.
I know, but I would do both. The visual slow. You see, slow. And it'll slow down, and he'll let the fold down, and the worm to turn, and letting him down gently onto the sand. Almost like Daenerys when she came in the dragon pit. Now she got off of Drogon.
I understand. I know what you're going for.
Come off, and then you can still have the scene when he walking up. You know, the cape flapping and stuff, and the worm moves.
I get that.
It would have been beautiful.
I just don't need him. I don't need him talking out loud anymore. I think we could hear the voice and know he can telepathically speak to the worms.
It would have been fine, but either way, I
know, but you live for the dramatics. You live for the dramatics. Hey, Abstans.
That would have been great. You would have been like, I'm following that man.
I just know that the worm was bigger than the mountain. And I was like, daggone it. How is he supposed to climb on and climb off?
That was one of the few mistakes visually. I was like, no, you got to show them actually how to get off. Because people are going to ask. Of course, people ask. And they still haven't showed it yet. I mean, they haven't even showed the spacing gear yet. So I'm just like, okay. You know, I guess we get what we get. But whatever. Yes. I am on my soapbox.
Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, Trey.
Let us be. Okay. Lisa, you got it?
Okay. Yeah, Trey. I think the Fremen people are snatching you. Yes, I can hear you now. You were going in and out for a second. The Fremen people came and snatched you.
Yeah, I'm back. Whatever.
So
Mobb Deep have called me, so I answered them Mobb Deep.
Okay. The people, the thing is, there's a cost to this to Paul. He kind of, in order to save humanity, he loses a bit of his humanity. Meaning he has to be very cold and calculated in order to save the people. So in many things, I think he's lost his, youth and charm. Of course, he had to grow up quickly. But in much of this, he seems very cold and calculated because he has so much weight on his shoulders, so many people to save, and he has to pick a path. Save the people or save me.
Did you feel he was cold and calculated? I didn't feel coldness from him.
I felt distant, emotional distance. He had to be emotionally distant.
But from who though?
From everyone, even from his mother. But his mother, it was because she didn't say she was part Harkonnen, and he figured that out when he drank the water of life. He's like, "Oh, Mom, you've been keeping secrets."
Oh, you talking about leading up to or after he drank the water of life in the movie?
After he drank the water of life.
See, that's the interesting part. I felt as if he was set apart, and he he had to set himself apart. But coldness, I don't know. I don't know if I felt
that's the
coldness.
distance. Again, he ain't warm, Trey.
Well, he's never been warm with anybody except for Johnny.
And he started focusing on the mission. Maybe I should say it that way. He focused more on the mission.
Well, yeah, because Chani, this goes back to how Chani was written. I mean, last time I saw her, she smacked him and then ran out. And she set herself apart from then on out. So is that on him? A lot was going on. during that time. A lot. They ain't had time to talk really at all, which is crazy.
My thing is that though she supported his rise to power and his role as the savior, how did she do both that and be a moral skeptic? She was a skeptic of the faith, but
That
not
was
of the
weird.
prophecy.
Who? No, she was a skeptic of the prophecy.
No, but I'm saying she was also trained. She was partially trained.
Which is, well, book version or this movie version, I think they took that out of her background. They took that out of her background.
Right.
And that was the issue I was having with her characterization. The only thing they added into her, she said she hated her secret name, Sahaya, because it was linked to some type of prophecy. She just preferred Chani. And that was the most we got out of that, because I think they were saving it as a big revealed, excuse me, Desert Spring Tears was a secret name. That was Sahaya. And I thought that was a weird choice to do, because in the book, Paul only calls her Sahaya. He already knew her secret name. He already knew her secret name before anybody could tell her. He knew it through his other memory and seeing the possible futures. So he almost never calls her Chani unless it's out in public like that. He always addresses her as Sahaya.
Right.
You know, so that was a weird change for the movie. She said, I hate it. I'm like, oh no, don't do this.
Right.
I like Sahaya. That's a beautiful name. I like Chani too, but
right. It kind of like gave a kind of secret code, undertone. That's why the mother, is telling the story of Desert Tears, and we know, it wasn't handled very well in the movie. But here's the other change, the biggest change that I believe many of us who are book readers and enthusiasts, we did not like. Aaliyah Atreides, Paul's sister's change. Because y'all, we told you that this happens over 2 years. Okay, 2 years in the book. By this time, Lady Jessica, of course, would have given birth, and the child would be at least a little bit older. Okay, it'll be at least 2. But because she took the water of life, there is massive and very quick growth. Okay, she is more than a toddler by the time they actually go and fight the emperor and everybody else. So for us watching the movie, even if you're saying it's 6 to 9 months, Lady Jessica should be further along with the baby. The baby should at least be born. So we're not liking the fact that Aaliyah Atreides isn't born and isn't as, pivotal a person as she's supposed to be in this whole story.
I know the director, he himself made that choice to do that because he felt as if that it would have been too weird to have some toddler running around talking like an adult woman, and often someone, because Aaliyah does that, not Paul, often someone that's a little
Aaliyah's
older,
the assassin in the family. She borns an assassin.
Yeah, so I disagree with the notion. We should have gotten crazy little baby Aaliyah. We should have gotten it. She's too. It was interesting to see Taylor-Joy is going to be the adult version of Aaliyah. That's cool. Cool casting right there. And see her, she sees Paul from the future and tells him some things or whatever. That was cool. But I really wanted little toddler Aaliyah running around. I really wanted that.
Mass chaos as a Reverend Mother. Did. And I wanted to see her Reverend Mother grandmother meet up with her in that throne room. I mean, I was like, daggone it. You took that from me.
I may love these 2 movies that Danny, I forgot his last name. I can't pronounce his last name. Villanova. Okay. that Villadova made. I appreciate them so much, but if I really turn on my thinking hat, I can pick apart this movie. Even if I didn't know the books, there were some narrative choices that didn't make sense because he tried to combine different storylines. Like when he meets his grandmother and he uses the voice on her, silence. Great moment, by the way. Great moment.
Of course. Because she feels it and it pushes her back physically.
And she's, yeah. But she says abomination at that point.
Yes.
And I'm like, I noticed, I knew what that meant myself as a book reader. I remember talking to people after that movie, even people that was in the movie theaters with, that was talking about the movie. Some of them didn't even understand, why would she call Paul an abomination? I thought he was supposed to be this Christ Haggard,
Not Paul.
This is what they supposedly I wanted. They was confused by that. And I was like, that was a mistake. No,
but
that
Paul
was
is not the abomination.
The abomination was always supposed to be Aaliyah. Yeah.
She is the abomination, and y'all, that's yeah.
I feel we got the abomination.
Oh, okay. She's the abomination, y'all, because her mother drank the water of life while pregnant with her. So she is born with the memories and thoughts of a reverend mother. She is not trained to be a reverend mother. So y'all see how wild Lady Jessica is? Not only did she train Paul, she had Paul, first of all, a boy, when she was supposed to have a girl. And she trained him in the ways. And now she knew she was pregnant and still drank the water of life. And now she has a daughter born a reverend mother.
Which is a no.
Absolutely no. Absolute no. Absolute no. I can understand why the change was made for a broader audience who might stomach violence for an infant. Okay, Absence, I could see that. You could convince us why a toddler should not be an assassin.
I'll put it to you this way. They could have cut out that part of and still have Paul make the offering of his grandfather. My only issue was that's an easy change to do. My only issue was you should not have deprived us of baby Aaliyah. It would have been too cool. It would have been too cool.
And she could have been 5 years old. She could have had accelerated growth.
Yeah, you could have done it. You could have done it.
Yeah.
We got robbed a little bit.
You know, with the budget tray, maybe we can't afford the child actors.
You know what? Nah. Nah, because everybody trying to blame everybody. We can't send them on vacation because of budget. We're hearing a lot of this because of budget mess.
But you got budget. I gotta use it.
But you got room to give us this fluff in the other part of the budget. Nah, miss me, okay? Miss me.
So y'all, while Paul is Paul Mohadib Atreides, he had, we talk about the prophecy. He drank the water of life. He is now the Kwisatz Haderach. Okay. And now we're ready for battle for Arrakis. Okay. He leads the Fremen people, the north,
the paradise,
and the south, Fremen, to uprise against the Harkonnen and to fight and, at least turn eyes to Arrakis. And that's what they wanted. They wanted all eyes on Arrakis to bring the emperor himself to Arrakis. And the emperor had to, because they were fighting for a long time. Huh?
Yeah, it was a beautiful trap set by Paul.
Right, because they trapped the yes, there was a beautiful trap. They tried to trap them too. They trapped his father.
For payback.
So it might as well trap them.
Payback, Yeah.
It's the big payback. So not only does the emperor have to come because because we fighting, We can't be, offloading all these spices, and that is causing an issue. And the emperor cannot be embarrassed on this planetary stage. So the emperor comes with his entire battalion. Okay. Now, when the emperor comes with his daughter and his whole group of people, instead of going head to head with the emperor, they do make it into the throne room, Paul and his crew, Paul and his Fremen brethren. And there is a call for basically, what do they call it in Game of Thrones again? Battle by combat? Trial by combat.
Trial by combat.
Where Paul will fight the champion because he can't, the Baron is obese and perishing. Okay. So he will fight whoever the emperor chooses to be his champion.
Well, okay, we may need to back up just a tad bit.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the battle itself is very interesting. There's a few things that happen during this battle that needs to be discussed. Okay. Paul's plan is about 2 or 3-fold. First off, the Harkonnens only know him as Muad'Dib.
Mm-hmm.
They only know him as Muad'Dib. The only people who know him as Paul Atreides is the Fremen people, number one.
Right.
The Bene Gesserit, number 2, and up to when he sends the message, the Emperor. The Emperor knows who Muad'Dib is now Paul Atreides because he sends him a message to come and face him on Arrakis. And he has no choice but to go there because Spice has been disrupted. And this is now a business and political issue. He, as his daughter suggested him earlier, don't send your army now. Wait till later. Let the crisis grow, and you can come there as a savior in peace. That plan is useful. Paul actually sees part of that plan in his vision when he awakens fully, and he uses that to his advantage. Okay, he's going to make him believe he's coming as a savior, but in the back of the mind, the Emperor knows. Okay, this is twofold. I got to find Muad'Dib because Muad'Dib is Paul Atreides, and he knows that we use underhanded illegal practices to end his household. He has to find him. Okay, number one. Number 2, the battle itself. Paul now has control of his family atomics. Okay. This is kind of a big deal. I don't think the movie went into it enough, but it should have went deeper because politically, this is a big deal.
Yes, it was a big deal.
Each major house. Hold on. Hang on.
I can hear you. Yeah. Each
house has its own number of atomic weapons. Yes, each major house has its own atomic weaponry. Okay, Gurney Halleck had the codes and knew the location of their family atomics that they brought from planet Caladan. Okay, they brought it from home. They hide on the planet. Okay, Paul sees this. Okay, we got to figure out a way to use this effectively. Okay, he decides to. Okay, there's a rule, and then it's basically. It's a rule in the lands rat. No house can technically use atomics on one another.
Right.
If so, your house will immediately be ostracized and destroyed by all the rest of the houses, including the Emperor. Okay, so that's the main reason why they don't throw atomics at one another. It's usually things have regressed back to
approved dire situations.
Yeah. Or if the machine empire ever rises again, basically. Okay, so Paul, number 1, Paul decides to use his family atomics. This is a serious issue. But he covers himself by, okay, I'm not going to use it to attack anyone directly. I'm going to use it to blow up the shield wall that protects the city from sandstorms and the sandworms. Okay. Now he's
Just basically
playing with,
use it to kick in the door.
yeah, he's playing with the letter of the law here. He's playing with the letter of the law here.
Well, is he?
Yeah, he is. He is. And he
Really?
knows he is. Yes.
Because that my house run things here, and you just locked me out. I'm trying to get back in.
Technically, they don't know that. The House of Trade is supposed to be dead. This is why this is such an issue here. Like, wait a minute, okay? Not only is he alive, because he invited the Landsrod too, what House Hawken did when the Emperor came. He was like, oh no, we got to protect ourselves too. Invite all the rest of the houses. We got issues going on. And the Emperor going to come in and take over, he got to do it in front of everybody. Okay? Which is a smart deal with House of Conan, which Paul knew through his other memory. He saw this coming. He's like, okay, perfect. I need everybody here. I need people to witness. Okay? Live witnesses, because we said last live, there are no satellites allowed over the planet Arrakis. Okay?
Nope.
So he needed people there to watch this. Okay? Everybody shows up. So the Emperor kind of has to be on his best behavior to a certain extent. Paul starts the attack. Shoots 3 missiles at the shield wall. Well, first off, let's talk about Paul oral form in a bit. When he walked over there, the music is going, and he walks up, music blaring, and he said, "Long live the fighters!" Woo! Yeah,
great scene.
That was great. They launched the missiles, blows up the shield wall. Everybody recovers. You hear the sandworms. Holy smack. Like I said, it's the greatest army in the Imperium, supposedly. And they are. They're bad. They're bad son of a guns. But they don't realize how great of warriors the Fremens are.
Right.
And not
only they see them as just dirty, dusty indigenous people.
Yeah. And they underestimate their population. They thought it was just a couple 100,000. They number in the millions themselves. And that's a guarded secret that the Fremen have held that a lot of people didn't know. So they attacked them, beat the Sardaukar terribly. Terribly. It was beat them up badly. Then Paul enters the makeshift palace, or forms again, stalking the bear. Looks down at him, grandfather. Oh, and it's all over. And goes and approaches the Emperor. He go to the Emperor. He knows who it is. He go, deep. You know, Insadi, Ushahu, Ishahu, Dosa. You know, take them to the Imperial Palace, and they have Gurney Halleck, you know what I'm saying, coming through, sacking the city. You know, he has the end of Beast Raban. It was nice and quick. I liked it like that. It was nice. Go ahead and end this food. There ain't gonna be no fight. Use a pump. Over. Burnt. Hakonin bodies. They feed the bear's body to the desert. Now we in the audience chamber.
And in the movie, it's cool that the Fremen know how to ride the sand. Do they teach Paul in the books also? Again, absence. Here's the thing. In the book, it is 2 years that Paul and his mother live with the Fremen people. That's why his sister is able to be a little bit older. In the book, it is 2 years. Right now in the movie, they're telling us 6 to 9 months.
Yes, but to answer your question, yes, in the book he learns. It's one of the big lessons he has. He has to learn how to ride a sandworm. And so when the day comes, it's just like in the movie, it's a huge event. It's a huge thing.
He basically goes through the training, all of the people who wishes to be warriors. He goes through that training, which includes that. Now, here's the thing, Trey. Here's what I didn't like. Okay. With this if we talk about riding sandworms, okay. The whole carrier that we are attaching to the sandworm so Mama could be laid out on
How
top
they
of the
got that?
sandworm.
How they do that?
I was like, what are we doing?
They should have showed how they do it. They do it in the books, but they explain how they do it. That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna show this visually, you got sometimes you do have to go ABC and show these things how it
Right, because
works.
these worms are moving, and it's like, how is she sitting there and looking very serene? And this worm is supposed to be moving so fast, and there's no shocks in the daggone seat. How is she maintaining like a good or? I'm like, you're lying to me. Ain't no way riding a sandworm is this, without a single bounce to it.
Well, that's a bounce. She does move around a little bit. She grabs like her belly, like, "Ooh, be okay." They're moving. They're moving around. It's not like it ain't like driving a Cadillac.
It was not enough.
They do it in the books. They should have visually shown how they have to get a rider. He has to slow down the worm, and they have to put the tent. That should pinch the tent on the sand itself, and have the rider take the worm up under the tent and lift up on it and keep going. And at the same time, people are climbing up probably beside the tent, and they attach the tent on the worm as it's moving.
Right.
So yeah, they do it. They just should have showed it.
I know they do it. They just don't show it. It's like,
yeah, they should have showed it. They just wait till after they're moving. I'm like, nah. Showing the process is better than actually showing after the process is done.
And even if it's in the director's cut or something, I'd appreciate it because it's looking like she's a passenger princess on a worm. And it's like, and she's not looking as dusty as she should be. We're in the flipping desert. Anyway, but that's just
she should be that dusty. She's in full headdress, full gear.
No, she doesn't look dusty.
Her face. She's inside the little tent things. They close the flap, so she shouldn't get dust. I'm just saying.
She looks like she doesn't get dusty at all. That's a problem.
She's a Reverend Mother.
And she's around the Fremen in the desert.
She's not outside. She inside. They keep her inside.
I still stand by. Why do the Fremen dream of their utopia as being green with all this water, knowing that the water isn't healthy for those worms?
Well, remember, we talked about this. They don't put as much value on the spice as the rest of the universe does.
They don't.
It doesn't matter.
But they do value the worms. That's what I'm saying.
God. That's God.
So why would you anyway? That's just my pet peeve with the whole thing. But who does he? Who is the Emperor's champion, Trey?
Fade Rotha.
Fade. And what I did appreciate in this movie is that we saw the Bene Gesserit come to him with their breeding program.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all wait too late for me, but I'm glad y'all showed the breeding program. Now, Fade Rotha, he is the new gladiator for them. He's the top warrior for the Harkonnen. He went through the whole trials and tribulation. He is rough, vicious and rough.
Yeah. Set up.
But here's the interesting part of it, because he was supposed to just be a meathead. This one, though, in this movie seems like he counting the calculations in his head as well.
Well, no, in the book, Fade Rotha is dangerous because he is calculating like the Baron is. Beast Raban is the dumb one. This is what he is, Beast Raban. Fade Rotha always was just as he was the Baron when the Baron was a young man before Muhayyim got a hold of him.
Right, that's correct. Yeah. I keep forgetting because all we see is sloppy Baron.
Yeah. That Fade Rotha, he looked like Fade Rotha when he was younger. They are very similar. And those are his uncles. His nephews. This is his nephews.
Right. Those are his nephews. Now, there has to be an agreement. If Paul wins, the Emperor, the Harkonnen, all of them leave Arrakis. Wasn't that it? What was it?
Well, the issue was Paul had basically already won. The thing he needed to do was to confirm himself as emperor and get the Landsrock to accept it. But first thing was first, he had to face the emperor. Tell him, hey, yeah, I'm Paul Atreides. You're gonna have to, and told him, I'm basically taking the throne by marrying your daughter.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
in my notes a little bit later on. Yes,
yeah.
the
He took
emperor will have
from
to
a man to daughter.
abdicate this throne so
Yeah.
Paul can
Either
marry his
way,
daughter. Huh?
yeah. Yeah. Either way, this is why on the Reverend Mother Superior Mohayim told Erlon, your father's losing the throne either way.
Right.
Either way, he's losing it. He's done. And they
So
set
are
him
you
up to
going
fail
to
that way.
save yourself or not?
Yeah. There's only one path that your family can stay in power. Which, they think they're through that, through that the Bene Gesserit think they're still gonna be able to assert a type of control over Paul through that. But they just don't know.
They don't know because they don't cater for Shani. That's where their vision was limited. They don't
That
realize
and
that Paul will take the emperor's daughter for wife in name only.
Also they don't fully understand. Out of all of this, they truly never fully understood exactly what the Kwisatz Haderach was or is. They just had hopes for what it could be.
Right.
It's a quite different thing to be it and to be Paul. The backdrop of this whole story about Frank Herbert's story, it's about power and control and the circular nature of life and how it evolves.
Right.
It happens over and over again, but it's about power and control and how does and the different forms of it as well. And how it's wielded against people.
The thing is that Shani is there to watch him fight. And he does win, y'all. Okay. But here's the thing. I was really pissed off when she got up and left.
Yeah.
I was really pissed off because that was a departure that I wasn't prepared for or wanted to see. But Paul does stand by taking the emperor's daughter for a wife. But the room realizes during the fight that Paul will not be controlled because he's just doing what needs to be done by marrying the emperor's daughter. Y'all aren't going to control me. Mm-hmm. Y'all ain't going to get no kids out of this. Is the other
he allows them to think it though. He allows them
to think it. Yeah.
To think it and believe it. The only people who really know the truth is actually Jessica in the books. That is, it's actually Jessica and Chani. They both fully understood what was happening.
The emperor's daughter did too because he told her.
Afterwards, that kind of happens later in the story.
Not that much later.
It happens later.
He tell her you
in
ain't going.
In the movie, it happens. It doesn't happen at all. In the movie, it doesn't happen at all. I know it doesn't happen. That's the problem.
In the movie, she keeps on thinking that eventually Paul will come to her and they will have babies. But in the book, it was like, are you for real?
She quickly realizes in the book, which is probably, I think they are going to show this in the next movie. She's going to come to quickly realize she can't do anything to force Paul to do anything. Like I said, they don't understand the Kwisatz Haderach at all.
Right, because Paul sees everything.
Not only that, he's going to be immune to the voice. He's going to be immune to the sexual. Okay, anything that has to do with sex, you are specifically trained to do. They could put off pheromones in their body to make a man submit to them.
Right.
And Paul's going to be immune to that. Like, ain't nothing she's going to be able to do is going to work.
No Jedi mind tricks will work on Paul.
At all. And they ain't happening, Captain. I can't wait to see that frustration because there's a conversation that happens between the Bene Gesserit and Erelon, and I can't wait to see that conversation on film to see how they do it. And it better happen because it's a very pivotal conversation.
They may not have it. I mean, heck, Paul sister ain't even born, and she's supposed to be in the throne room born. So I need you to quell your disappointment now.
They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. It's gonna be a version of it because the Bene Gesserit doesn't disappear. They're right there.
Here's the other thing, y'all. Shani is supposed to be with child at this point.
Well, are we going to go full off into it? Okay, first, let's talk about it, okay? In the books, Shani and Paul already have a son.
Right. Okay? Leto the second.
Little Leto the second. He is unalived. Okay, the Emperor sends a secret battalion of Sardaukar to attack Siege Tabor. This is how they captured Paul's sister, Paul's second wife, because he already has a second wife. Jamis had a wife and two sons. The guy he offed in the first movie in that fight, he has a wife and two sons. Paul, because he off his Jamis, he is now responsible for Jamis's family. So they become he takes them in as part of his family. Right. And she becomes like she becomes like a de facto second wife to a certain extent.
Yes.
They never really finalized anything. It's just she is part of the household.
She is considered his wife by the premise.
Jamis is second wife because Chani's the first. Chani's the first. Jamis's sons becomes Paul's like
wards.
Kingsguard to a certain extent.
But they become his wards as well.
I'm frozen up a little bit. Hang on a second.
Yeah. They become part of his first Kingsguard.
Come back and become Paul's kind of Kingsguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah. And so when that team goes in to try and off Muad'Dib, they off Leto in the attack by mistake. Leto
the second.
The child, his child is unalive by mistake. So Chani is actually in a wreck when she comes to that throne room because she finds out what happened. Because she does fight in the battle as well, but she finds out what happened to her son. And but everything happens like it should. The meeting actually is on Aaliyah is the one who offs the granddaddy. They don't want to show that, but Aaliyah offs granddaddy. Everybody's brought to the throne room. They talks about it. They have a talk, and then the fight happens between him and Faith Rother. Paul wins. They did. Well, Paul wins. I ain't going to talk about that part because
Well, the thing is, this is where they changed the full timeline. This is why I said Shani's with child, because with the 2 years in the book is where Shani and Paul have Leto the second.
I see what you talk. Okay.
So now that they are shortening it in the movie for, they say 4 to 6 months, is why I'm saying, well, Shani just left the throne room. She left on a sandworm and she's with child. At this point is where I'm thinking, okay, she got to be with child now and leaving and not telling him, but he knows. Paul is all knowing.
Let me ask you a question then.
Okay.
Is it just going to be Leto's second, or are they doing the twins?
They better do the twins. If they don't do the twins, I'm going to be pissed.
I feel like what you said earlier is going to come true. They're just going to do Leto the second.
Right. Because they did. But the twins are pivotal.
They are. It's too.
Unless they do Leto the second and they do the twins, but Leto, perishes for other reasons.
Well, it has to, because when the twins are born, one of them is named Leto as well.
Right. But that's Leto the third.
Yeah. They just go ahead and actually no, they name him Leto the second as well. Because it's weird, but they do that in the books. He is, because the first Leto got unalived. They decided to go ahead and replace him with the second Leto, but since he's alive, he's still technically the second. You actually don't get these second or third names until you ascend the throne, quote unquote. That's when you get the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. You actually don't get that until you ascend the throne. But yeah, I do agree with you. The twins,
and we need the twins.
We do
but
need
here's
the
thing. Here's the problem. His sister is supposed to be older than the twins, but then she grows up faster anyway.
If they
Shawnee gotta come back. I need to know how Shawnee coming back.
This is why I said the way the director decided to do certain things, he kind of writ himself into a slight corner here.
Yes, he did.
And I gotta see how he's gonna write himself out of it. Because I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned, you know.
Very concerned. It is
this is why I say I don't think we're gonna get the twins. We're just gonna get Leto.
We cannot just get Leto because of the story, the impact of the twins. There has to be two beings. I'm sorry, I'm yelling at you, and you know.
No, you can. No, you. I know. I'm with you. That's why I'm like, this is a problem.
It is.
This is why I made that analogy to absence earlier about
unless Shawnee has the twins in the desert, and Paul comes to find her and realizes he has twin children.
Mm-hmm.
Because his mother also will know.
We need the twins.
His mother and his sister will tell him if he don't see it in his own mind's eye. There's so many people with the future in their head.
That's why I said, okay, this is why I'm a little afraid that he's just gonna whittle it down to just Leto, because we know what happens to one of the twins. That sacrifice happens, but that's way later, so much later, way later. And it seems like they're hell bent of fast tracking a lot of this. That's what it seems like. They're hell bent of fast tracking a lot of this.
Weren't they supposed to conceive the twins after he drank the water of life?
Way after.
It's also supposed to be pivotal because so he has the water of life in his genetic structure, just like how his mother consumed it when she was pregnant with the sister. So
they will already be born awakened. They will already be born awakened. Here's the problem. This is why I have an issue with all this. See, I noticed, remember we talked about this last week. I noticed that it seemed like they was trying to do a softer version of Princess Irulan. They want you to like her. They wanted us to like her. Because, which I don't think is going to happen. Irulan,
she has Harkonnen blood.
Yes, but Irulan is in the books. Is after all of this has happened, there should be a time skip. There should have been a time skip.
You said Irulan, and I thought Aaliyah. Sorry.
Yeah, Irulan. Irulan. They want you to like Irulan a lot. But I'm afraid that they're going to cut out a lot of stuff that Irulan does to make you feel sympathy for her.
All the shady stuff she does, and she is shady.
Because it takes a while for Chani, in the books, it takes a while for Chani to conceive for the twins. And you come to find out that Irulan is slightly poisoning Chani, trying to off her.
Yes. Not only first she tried to give her stuff that she cannot conceive, and then she tried to offer.
And Chani finally rises up and decides to go back to the old. This is why I said there's going to be some changes, because, like you said earlier, they took the faith out of Chani.
Right.
Because at some point, Chani realizes, goes, you know what? Nah, this ain't right. She goes back to her old friend ways, go to old friend doctors, and uses faith methods, and realizes that no, her body is being poisoned. So
she's been given moon tea.
Yeah, basically. So she takes drastic measures to make sure she gets conceived, and it costs her life. It costs her life, but she does it to ensure Paul has heirs.
And it's not only just heirs; it has to be the twins.
and because she loves him. Like this, we
right.
can't.
And she knew, because as you said, the religious part, they told her the vision that she will not see her children. They tell
Yes,
her that
yes,
she will not
yes.
see. Well, first of all, they told her she won't see Dune be free.
True.
What she was fighting for, she was not going to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very interesting. I love with these science fiction movies based on, a society. I love to see the fundamentals of the society, how it is built. As you said, we can relate it to Star Wars. We can relate it to Game of Thrones. There's a lot you need to put into it to build a society, build a prophecy, build a religion, even build out how, the people and their language. There's a lot that goes into it, and I really appreciate it. Now, Trey, are we gonna see part 3 in the movies? Because it took forever for me to even watch this. Okay.
I'm watching part 3. I'm beat. That's a movie ticket that's brought.
Oh no! See,
I'm gone.
y'all, it took forever. I had to wait for this to come out on Max. My son was pushing me hard to watch it, and I was like, because I didn't like the fact. I didn't like the breaking up of the multiple movies. I was like,
He had to do it
no.
that way. No, he had to do it that way.
But
now that's the one failing I'm gonna give with the first movie in the 80s, even though I like it. I love that movie. I know a lot of people hate it. I love that movie. But I can tell you they tried to cram too much into those 2.5 hours.
I understand that, Trey, but I really wasn't feeling part 1. I'm thinking it's 1 and 2. So when 2 came around and they were showing 1 in the movies with an intermission and then seeing 2, I was like, fine, until I heard that 2 ain't the end. I was like, oh, heck no, I'm done. I'm getting off this sandworm.
It can't be the end because the parts 1 and 2 is only the first book. It's only the first
I'm saying when it first came out, I thought part 2 was going to be the end.
Oh, no, I knew that was going to happen. I didn't want that. If you're going to do the Dune saga.
No, before we saw it, I thought it was just a 2-part movie.
Oh, in one movie.
I thought it was 2 parts and that's it. Now come to find out, when 2 came out, people are like, oh, well, part 3 is going to be awesome. I don't need 3 parts. I'm spoiled.
No. Part 3 is the second novel.
I understand, but I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled with 1 undone or 2 undone, and that's it. I'm spoiled.
Oh no, I don't like one. Depending on the story, I don't like. I'm sorry. Depending on the story, I don't like one and dones. Okay, if you have the audience and you have the budget and the wherewithal to do it, yeah, give me 10 movies. You know what? Guess what?
But Trey, for me, it's waiting. What if you don't have the budget and I'm now invested and it's foolishness and you're done and the movie isn't finished until like 5 years later somebody else takes up the mantle? For me, it's way. I don't know. If y'all find a movie theater that's showing all 3, like I want to be able to watch 1 and 2 and then go straight into 3. I'll spend all day in the theater.
Well, that's just an issue with movie making, period. Okay. If you're gonna have like for these Dune novels, Dune sagas, I would not mind if they do all the books of Frank Herbert. The first 6, the main first 6 books.
But I will need it a movie a year. Do not have me sitting here on my hands for 2-3 years.
I get you, but that's the issue with movies already. We already getting to the issue with shows now. We used to get shows a season every year. Now we got to wait 2 or 3 years just to get one season, just to get another season. We already having issues with that.
We have an issue.
And I don't think it's needed.
I don't know. I love Dune. Dune definitely has my heart. I'm a Duner. But I don't want the disappointment because it will totally crush me if they play with my Dune.
We're gonna here's the thing. The first book, which is parts 1 and 2, and Dune Messiah go very well together. They go very well together. That's probably why we get in 3 parts, Dune Part 3 and all that stuff.
Right.
The problem is where they go further. That's the real question. I always knew when we got that first Dune movie, we're getting 3, at least. Because
after you saw it, I didn't see it because I wanted to hear what people had to say. So I waited till both of them came out.
Before I saw it.
Oh no, I didn't.
Because I knew the importance of the novels itself, and I knew for you to conclude at least Paul's story, you at least have to do 3 movies, 2 for the first movie, and then do Dune Messiah, and you can somewhat conclude Paul's story if you wanted to. Honestly, Paul's story doesn't conclude until you hit Children of Dune.
There you go. I was about to say, like, what are you talking about, Willis?
I'm just saying, but for the story that if you notice what they're trying to tell, up into Dune Messiah. Into Dune Messiah. So I knew it, at least he's gonna do.
I don't mind them doing Children of Dune as a series like they did before.
Honestly speaking, I always felt that Dune would have been better served as a series anyway.
Yeah, but I understand. And I think it would have been more expensive as a series, but that's why I think they made the conscious decision to do Children of Dune, which is less sandstorm and sand fighting.
Yeah, it's more of a political drama.
Right. I think we can come away from the movie theater and do a Children of Dune. Not these half an hour, eight parts, but we could definitely do. If it's only 8 parts, I need a full hour. But again, we will be here. So I guess you go into the movie theater. I'm still, on the fence about that.
I'm going to the movies. We couldn't see part 1 of the movies because that was during COVID, so it came out on Max.
Oh yeah, but I didn't watch it then. And then when 2 came out, it came on Max.
2?
I'm telling you, I only watched it like last summer.
I was in the movies when part 2 came out. It was magnificent to watch it. Visually speaking, these movies are amazing.
It is. Cinematography, absolutely amazing. But for me and my household,
storyline wise, issues. But I knew it was always, because it's always issues. There's hardly a perfect movie adaptation.
Oh, not perfect, but I just need to understand.
Perfect enough.
I need a director's cut that tells me why you have, Lady Jessica pregnant for 2 to 3 years.
But she wasn't. They changed the whole storyline.
Why Paul was in a coma only for 2 hours when he's supposed to be in a coma for 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I know.
Why? You see, these are the artistic changes. I understand will happen. But again, I need the director.
Doesn't mean we gotta like it. That don't mean we gotta like it.
Of course,
because I didn't like it, but I understood it.
Totally understood it. But what? So you're looking forward to 3. What is your wrap up of this second part of Dune? What is your wrap up conclusion for this movie?
In many ways, I love Dune Part 2. Well, in many ways, in a few ways, I ain't gonna say many. In a few ways, I love Dune Part 2 better than Part 1. There's only a few. As a movie overall, I do prefer Part 1. That's just me. The main reason is because that, compared to the novel, is more of a complete one-to-one. Even though they had to leave out a lot, I understood that. But for what they did as a movie, is very complete. It really is. Part 2 is where things get a little weird, storyline wise. Even if you don't even know the novel, when you think about some things that happen, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, okay, why did this happen here? There's a hole here. What's going on over here? And this is mainly due to the changes that were made. Okay.
Right.
So now you've written yourself into, like I said earlier, into a little corner here. And I am interested to see how you gonna resolve this. And I can tell you right now, they already written him to Danny Devradola, even though I'm not going to let him get away with it. He has written himself an out to this already.
Right.
Remember, Paul sees possible futures. What he's showing in these movies is one possible future that he has seen.
Right.
And I have an issue with that. I have an issue with that because it feels like a cop-out.
Now, Sam, Dune Part 1 is 2 hours and 35 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
So while I would do a members watch party with it, it's a long movie.
Mm-hmm.
It may be one that I just let it run and I do what I got to do and y'all watch. And we're going to talk about it later. But
don't let Elle set you up, Sam. Dune Part 1. You know what? Because of your sensibility.
No, she got to figure out where to find it. She got to figure out where to find it.
Because of Samantha's sensibilities, I think she would love Part 1 over Part 2 slightly more.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, heck yeah. Until the end.
Love Part 1.
Until the end.
Of what? Part 1?
Until she realized what Paul got to do to get in with the Fremen.
Yeah, but she will understand.
She'll understand. We're going to pass her them tissue. We're going to pass her the tissue. There you go.
Is it a tissue moment? Because Homeboy was calling for it. Let's be honest. Like, bro.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
You had way too much energy. You had way too much energy. No, she's going to get it. She could be like, I can hear her say it now. Why was he couldn't he just calm down?
There is no way you gonna convince me that Sam gonna say, "Oh, he wanted it, or he got it." It's a way.
I mean, listen, you come with the issue.
It's a possibility.
If you come with energy that much, hey, bro, and they try to give you a way out. That's the funny thing, but you didn't want to take it. So here we are.
Well, they're saying it is available on YouTube TV. Well, I guess that's with HBO Max, Hulu. Requires an add-on, but there are ways for you to watch Part 1 and Part 2 of Dune. But definitely, if my members want to watch it, hey, I'm off on April 3rd, so we could do a movie in the daytime. That's Good Friday. I'm off, so depending on what we got going on, I may just say, movie day. With the members. And if you are a member here, we do watch shows together. On Fridays, we watch RuPaul Drag Race. On Thursdays, we watch A Dinner Party from Across Another Continent. And all you have to do is click the link that'll be in the comment section of the post and join the Hangout room. And that is away from YouTube, and it avoids any type of copyright infringement because it's like Teleparty, which is approved for you to watch movies and shows from your home and my home separately, but we watch it together. But Dune Part 2, cinematography for 1, I loved the best. Okay, I'm with you with that. Part 2 had more the impactful scenes. There was, several scenes, especially
big action scenes
and big action scenes. But even so, it pulls the heartstrings of, when Paul walks into the sacred space to have his speech, that kind of thing. We had moments, big moments in Part 2. So Part 3, I don't know if I'm going to see it in the movies, but since we covering this, and Trey might, I may buckle under peer pressure because Trey will be like, girl, I may have to see it in the movie theater. Okay. Or I'll just wait till it comes out. But we're going to have to talk about it anyway. We're going to have to get the people talking about it. You have your spring break for your district on April 3rd. Girl, you'll be off that week. Oh, girl, we could do a Dune movie day. And Part 3 is coming out at the end of April. So maybe April 3rd, I will do a Dune movie day. We have to, Sam is in 3 hours behind. So it'll probably be 11 a.m., probably EST. I'll probably start it. I'll
Have you
think about
watched
it.
the new trailer?
No, I
Have
have
you
not.
watched the new trailer? I haven't watched it yet either. I've been holding
I
off.
have not. Because you know what? It came across my feed and I thought it was CGI. I thought it was somebody's fake trailer.
That's the real
The
thing.
first one I saw. Okay.
It's the real thing.
Dune Day on April 3rd. Y'all, we can't do. I'll have to see. Because
Dune
remember,
Day.
that's my
Dune Day.
birthday week. That's my
Dune
birthday
Day.
week. Okay.
No, we can start.
That's
all
we're
that.
supposed to have a party on Friday at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So I need to look and see the times. If we're gonna do a Dune Day, how long the whole day gonna be? We might have to tell Sam she got to wake up early. Okay, Good Friday.
I'm not gonna lie. Every few months or so, I go on YouTube and while I'm driving, I play Doom. I play Paul's Arrival theme in Doom.
Oh gosh.
They great. Hey, it makes me feel good and dangerous.
And you equate that as your arrival song, don't you?
It feels
See,
good.
I know it. I know it.
That theme is amazing. That theme is amazing.
It's fictitious.
But it's beautiful too, because Paul and Chaney's love theme is so sweet and elegant. Oh.
Okay, let's see where this is going. Don't be surprised if the next time when we talk about Dune Part 3 that Trey ain't trying to be Trey Mohadib. Okay, don't be surprised.
Don't make me look up to try to find me a steel suit. Hold on now. Find me a steel suit. Yeah.
On that note, y'all, thank y'all for being here. Okay, Thursday members, we are watching the dinner party together. Okay, Friday, if you like it around here, we have a party every Friday at 5 p.m. EST. It's called Illicit Unscripted. We go over a year in music and have ourselves a good time. And also Friday, we watch RuPaul's Drag Race with the membership. On Saturdays, we cover RuPaul Drag Race. On Sundays, we cover Married at First Sight Australia and Love is Blind Sweden. We are knee deep in Sweden. I thank you all so much for being here. I thank you for hitting that like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you hit that hype and hype up the video because we're preparing you for Dune Part 3, which is coming in theaters. But I thank you all for being here. And like I always say, I'll see you on the next one.